There is a dream on your heart, a life that you're destined to live. But it hasn't happened yet. It can feel like you're falling behind in life, or that you've missed your chance. Well, I'm Brittany Hoops, and I'm here to tell you, together here today, we are finally going to take a stand. We're going to take the reins, collapse timelines, connect to your vision, and tap into the manifestation momentum that makes your dreams inevitable.
Take a step back.
Welcome back, time travelers, to another episode of Inevitable with Brittany Hoops. Hit subscribe now. Stay up to date with every new episode. I mean, we just had 3 this week alone, okay? Which I will say, I am very proud of that. I'm hesitant right now to give y'all an exact promise schedule with this show just yet. I will, I promise. I put a lot of time, a lot of energy researching and crafting these episodes. And so I don't want to rush that. I want to really get a sense of how long it takes to do this before I give you a cadence. I want it to be something that's going to be valuable for you, but I am working towards a more consistent and frequent schedule to share with you soon, okay? But today we've arrived at part 3 of our quantum physics series. Now, to recap, part 1, that was a crash course in all things quantum mechanics. We laid the groundwork. Part 2, we explored our perception of time. Yeah, did you know that you have the dials to speed up time or to slow it down? Pretty powerful stuff. Totally in your power. Part 2 got into the nitty-gritty of that. And part 3 here, we're going to explore another term I'm sure you've heard a lot about in manifestation circles. It's thrown around a lot. But now is time to dive into the science behind it and how to do it. And it is the idea of a quantum leap. Okay, so let's go back to the record analogy that we talked about in part 2, okay? The past, the present, the future is like this old-time record that you play on an old record player, okay? And that needle that you put on that record player, that's you, okay? That's you in the present moment, and it plays the song, and you listen to it, and the songs that you heard before is the past, and the songs that you'll hear coming up next is the future. You're with me here, right? It's the playing and it's the experiencing of that song in the present moment is that needle. So if we think about a quantum leap is basically saying, here's what I want to manifest in my life. I'm going to take the needle on this record that was in the present moment. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to put it exactly where I want. So rather than listening to songs 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to get to song 6, I'm just going to put that needle right in the groove for song 6. I'm just going to place that needle right there. And essentially when you do that, that's collapsing time, quantum leaping. But here's the key distinction. A quantum leap in manifestation terms is actually different than what a quantum leap means in quantum physics terms. Now, they share some similarities. Sure, that's how the metaphor came up, right? But, in manifestation, it's used a lot more, like a metaphor than some of the other quantum physics concepts that we talked about in part 1 and 2. I found that really interesting, right? I've been studying this for 18 years, and I didn't even know that until I started researching this series. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, in quantum mechanics, it's actually really funny. A quantum leap, or they call it a quantum jump, it's actually a very tiny shift. It's not what you would really want at all. In manifestation metaphor terms, it means that we've made this huge, abrupt transformation. Our lives have altered in some huge fundamental way. And I can see where the term became popular because a real quantum jump is when a particle, like an electron, transitions between different energy levels instantaneously, meaning that it doesn't have to pass through space in between. That's what a real quantum jump or leap is. Now, all those Newtonian physicists were absolutely floored when this happened, right? Because they expected that a change would be continuous motion over time, right? You could see it travel, like you could see it, right? But quantum mechanics showed that there was no need for that time or that space in between. It was simply this non-linear, abrupt replacement with no visible transition. And this isn't entirely accurate, but it's kind of like what we think about with like teleporting. Like I'm here and then I'm just like, boom, I'm there, right? And that's why making a quantum leap in manifestation is so alluring to us. We have this inclination to want to skip that in between part. And one of my favorite similarities that the physics quantum leap and the manifestation quantum leap both share, despite the fact that they aren't directly tied in quantum mechanics together, is that they both need there to be sort of an energy threshold that is reached in order for that quantum leap to happen. Like there has to be a tipping point. Now, in physics, the jump only happens when enough energy is absorbed. In manifestation, a shift only happens in your life once you believe more than you disbelieve. Once you're manifested you more than you are current you. When your positive thoughts outnumber your negative ones on that particular subject. And that, folks, doesn't seem to happen overnight. That process, you can't quantum leap through it. That's the work. But when you do that process, it feels like you wake up one day and you're like, really? I used to feel that way? I used to think that way? I used to complain about that or do that? You don't recognize the old you anymore. It's one of the reasons why I love journaling on my manifestations, because sometimes without the physical evidence of a past journal entry that I wrote that shows me how I used to think, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe that that used to be me, because the quantum leap is so all-encompassing. It's an identity shift. And so once you've reached that point, that tipping point, that's when the manifestation comes on through. You can't quantum leap through the process, but you can quantum leap into a result. I'm going to say that one more time. You cannot quantum leap through the process, but you can quantum leap into a result. I had this moment the other day. I'm 31 pounds down on my 100 pounds of natural weight loss manifestation that I'm currently focused on. If you want to know what I'm focusing on there specifically, go back and listen to the episode that's titled Manifesting My Ideal Body, Weight Loss with Hypnosis and the Art and the Law of Attraction. I chronicle what I'm doing there. And it's really fun being 31 pounds down, 31% of the way through this manifestation. I've reached the fun part because, one, I'm a lower weight than I've been in years. Two, I'm starting to really see and feel the benefit of losing this weight. Like it's easier to hold my daughter despite the fact that she's growing and getting heavier as she should be. And, I can get off the play mat on the floor so much easier. It used to hurt my knees and I would struggle to sort of do that like deep squat to get up, but now I just get up with ease, right? I can tell changes in my face. I definitely can tell in my stomach and thighs and, all those things. And three, probably the most fun of all, I can begin to tell it in my identity. And where I noticed this most recently was last weekend. I take a reset meal for my metabolism every 2 weeks, right? Just sort of, it keeps the metabolism guessing. And so, and it also helps me not feel deprived or anything, right? If there's something I really, really, really want to eat, I know I can have it in 2 weeks or less. And so this past reset meal that I had this past weekend, I took it, but there was something very different about it this time. I wasn't counting down the days. I feel like with some of the earlier reset meals I had, it was like, oh, here's how I want to eat. And all the other time is me eating how I think manifested me would eat. But I have to think like, oh, what would she want? And then I'd have to kind of, go and eat that. But now it's shifting to be the opposite. It's like, oh, these healthy things, this is how I eat for 2 weeks. And then the reset meal comes up and I'm like, now I go eat how I used to eat for one meal. Do you feel that shift? And, I'm like, this isn't how I eat anymore. Like, do I even want this pizza or this brownie right now? And it's okay if the answer is yes. It's a reset meal. It's fine. That's what it's there for. But I'm beginning to question, like, am I just doing this because old me wanted to do this? Or am I doing this because I feel like it's me now? And I can really sort of begin to see a path where I move away from this every 2-week schedule and just sort of enjoy meals, on a birthday or a holiday or just something if I wanted it. Because I no longer identify with eating these like large, sugary, fatty meals and desserts. Whereas before, I'll admit it, it was a part of my identity. It was a part of my culture. It was a part of my family system. It was a part of my, and there's just things that I had to re-identify around. And so it feels less like me to eat them now, whereas it used to feel like the opposite just 3 months ago. And that's not by accident. Okay. I've been training my identity, my mindset to crave healthy food. And that process of training was deliberate. It was intentional and it required repetition day in, day out. And I'll continue to do that work until I cross that 100-pound mark and probably even after because I want to maintain it. Right. But the realization of, wow, I didn't even really need that reset day. That realization there felt instant. That was the quantum leap. Okay. And so when you think about it, that concept, the fact that nonlinear change can happen once that threshold is crossed, that if you keep stacking cups one on top of the other again and again, eventually all at once it will fall. If you keep thinking positive thought after positive thought after positive thought, that eventually all at once you'll look up and you'll notice that you manifested the life that you used to dream of. You'll get that phone call with good news. You'll get that text from that guy. You'll get that first sale, whatever it might be. We see this play out in life all the time. I mean, this is a natural law of the universe. You put enough pressure on a balloon and then boom, it pops. Okay? You have a shelf and you put book after book after book after book on it, and it's holding and it's holding and it holds until some point, crash, right? It falls down. You've crossed the limit. And nature, I used to live in California. Okay, I'm very familiar with this one. Tectonic plates, they push up against each other for years, and you can't see anything but the traffic, how much traffic there is on the 405. Okay, and then suddenly, release, massive shift. It's called an earthquake. A TikToker records video after video after video. Crickets. It feels like no one cares until they wake up one morning and they see that last night's video went viral and they have 100,000 new followers and a spot on the Today Show. Nothing appears to change until it does. But the key ingredient for that quantum leap is the continued repetitive stacking of new thoughts, new identity, new actions, new emotions again and again. That's why when an actor gets their breakout role, everyone's like, oh, they're an overnight success. It appears like they quantum leaped. And in a way, they kind of did. I mean, there was a moment for Jennifer Aniston, right? Right? There was a moment right before she got cast on Friends. And then there was a moment right after she got cast on Friends. Okay. Quantum leap, we know now, although she probably didn't realize it at the time. But anyone who has been labeled as an overnight success will laugh right in your face because they know the mental and physical effort it took to get there. So if you desire a quantum leap, I kind of want you to gut check yourself and be real honest here for a moment, okay? Do you want a quantum leap of your manifestation? Or are you hoping that you can just skip the work? Because quantum leaps still require inner work, some less than others. But if you notice yourself not wanting to do the work, but you're wanting the quantum result, you're essentially saying that you don't want to become the person who would have the result. And is that true? I think sometimes it's more true that we want to become the person than the result. I actually was thinking about that, about this manifestation I'm working on right now. I'm like, it's funny. It's like, I want to manifest the weight loss so that I feel cute and vibrant and energetic. And I don't really want other people to comment on it. So I'm definitely not doing it for other people. I'm doing it so that I can comment on it and say, yeah, I made healthy decisions for myself. So it's like, I don't even want the outside 3D external validation. I want the inner validation. I want to become the person that represents. I am becoming the person that represents in real time. okay? I would reckon that you have some sort of flavoring of the same way. A quantum leap is a sudden, nonlinear shift. If you experienced a sudden, nonlinear shift in your manifestation and you didn't do the inner work, let me tell you, your nervous system would scream at you. It would not feel good. It's like those people who win the lottery, but they don't fix their spending habits. And so they just waste all that money away in a year. They're bankrupt again. And you're like, how in the world could you win the lottery and then still be bankrupt? It's like the bankruptcy didn't exist in the 3D world, it existed in the inner world. It's just sort of like jumping headfirst into a bathtub, like, or not really a bathtub, but like maybe say a hot tub, right? Ow, it would burn if you did that. Don't do that. You got to dip your toe in first. Get used to the temperature. Put the rest of your leg in. Toasty, right? Relax into it. Breathe. And then all of a sudden, you can put your whole body in and it feels way better than if you just jumped in suddenly all at once. This is how we become someone who can acclimate to our desired reality. We build our container to be able to hold it. So, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into quantum physics and time through our 3-part series here. I'm sure we're going to be delving into these ideas in further episodes as well. But I want you to remember that you are the observer. You have the power to choose your own adventure out of the infinite possibilities of the future that already exists for you. You can pick up that record, you can play any song you desire, and not only can you create your reality and the manifestations in it, but you're also manifesting your own experience of time. So why not enjoy it? Get it into motion, work towards your goals, watch it fly right by. And if you love this 3-part series, be sure to share it with someone who you know would geek out over this quantum mechanics stuff too. Maybe it's a more logical-minded person who doesn't quite get your interest in manifestation, but might understand it and you a bit more if they learned about it through a scientific lens, huh? Send it to them, and be sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't already. These episodes, they're coming in hot. I'm sure you've noticed that I've tried to keep them a bit shorter than usual, but I want to up the frequency of how many episodes we have here. So expect more drops sooner as we move into the future. Because, I mean, the future, right? It's already written. The episodes are already created, right? Everything already exists in the future. I just have to align to them. And that is what I'm doing. So I highly urge you, as you sort of mull over everything that we explored here today, to sit in a moment of pure awe and wonder at this miraculous world that we live in. I mean, to think that all future possibilities already exist. All of them. Every single one that you can dream up. Like, let that sink in. The past, the present, the future, all happening at once. Already created and just sitting there, ready, ripe for us to observe it into our perception, our experience, to bring it, to magnetize it towards us, attract it to us. Law of attraction. I'm already the kind of person who lies awake at night just excited for what the future holds. So when I think about every possibility already existing and I just need to I don't need to bring it to me. I need to bring me to it because it's already there. It's like I feel like I'm a kid with a flashlight just like wanting to read the rest of the book. Like I can't read the future fast enough. I want to know what happens, right? So let's read the book of our lives, of our future. In fact, let's write it and then read it. Let's enjoy the record as it plays. Enjoy the glorious process of observing your dreams into being. And I'll catch you in the next episode.
I don't know.